Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town. Here's what we're going to talk about today. It was a cold, damp, dismal afternoon at the G-Tech Stadium where we witnessed, I think, a lacklustre performance from Luton Town that saw us succumb to a patched-up Brentford side, really, and suffer a somewhat humiliating 3-1 defeat. We're going to talk about that in more detail. The league leaders are coming to town soon, and depending on when you're listening to this, and Arsenal are sitting proudly at the top of the table, and they will be hoping to extend their lead as they grapple with the title away from Manchester City, who are coming again to us soon. We're going to discuss how we might go about stopping them and what we have to do to win the game. We've got your 3-word reviews and much, much more. And as usual, we've got the boys with me tonight. We've got Steve, Amataro. Good evening. How are you guys going?
Lovely, thanks, mate.
Very good, mate. Thank you very much.
Let's briefly talk about Saturday before we really get into it. Really cold day. If you've never been to the G-Tech Stadium before, I know some people didn't like it. I've been several times, but it was a bit flat.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, unfortunately I didn't get to go, but I watched it, yeah, and you're right, Dave, there wasn't a lot going on that I could hear anyway.
Well, the atmosphere was flat, and not only from us, from the away supporters, in fact, of all the supporters, probably the ones you could hear the most. I don't know how that came across, but it was just a flat game. It was a flat day, it was cold, it was dismal. I
even heard some of their fans saying on Twitter, saying that they accepted that they were flat as well. They weren't singing. It was probably their worst performance as a crowd of the season as well. But you get that all the time, don't you, from opposition fan base and whatever. But yeah, I don't know what they're like usually. I've been once before. Wasn't to watch a Luton game. It was a West Ham Brentford game, and I'll be honest, the atmosphere was okay, but like I say,
well, to be fair, I've been several times, and I've been in there when it's been a cracking atmosphere. I saw their first win in the Premier League against Arsenal.
That'll be why,
I saw them win the playoff semi-final against Bournemouth, and it was rocking. But it was I think it reflected the day.
Yeah, just a weird one. Yeah, well, I did have a ticket to go, but then I got a call during the week saying, I've bought you tickets to go to the pantomime instead.
Oh, no, you didn't, Steve.
No.
No, you didn't.
I was absolutely elated about that, as you can imagine. But then getting messages from you during the day, Dave, it would appear that I dodged a bullet because, one, it wasn't freezing cold. I mean, the pantomime, they forgot their lines several times. There was one time where this female fairy character came out, started doing her talking, and the two guys were, nope. That's the next scene. Get off. So, it was quite amusing.
Was it like an amateur dramatics?
Yeah, I think so.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, and also the company took advice from someone in Stevenage asking who their rivals were. And this person has obviously said our big rivals are Luton, because the villain at one point had a Stevenage shirt on, tried to get some cheering, nothing. Pulled the Stevenage shirt off, and he's got a Luton one underneath, trying to get everyone to boo. But there was no booing. There was just me and my grandson going, go on, get in there. So that backfired. But it would appear that I missed a bit of a howler on Saturday.
Well, it doesn't sound like you did, mate. You went to a pantomime.
Just a variation of the theme, yeah.
Let's have a look at your 3-word reviews for the game on Saturday. Reece said we deserved to lose. Rick, not good enough. Mark, worst away performance. TJ, poor tactical decisions. Cameron, far too defensive. Neil, never in it. Can you get the theme here? Ben, missing too many. Duncan, too much respect. Joe just thought they had great sausage rolls, and Fraser said move on quickly. Any of those take your fancy, Bizarre?
I mean, to be fair, it's the first one on the list. Deserve to lose. I mean, you could go for a few here, but yeah, deserve to lose. Like I say, we weren't. I mean, made far too many mistakes. Didn't really have a sniff until later on in the game. So yeah, look, I'm not going to go over the top and criticize it too badly. We'll get into that later, but yeah, just weren't good enough.
Judging by what I heard and read a lot on Twitter, and again, I think so many fans, including myself at times, capable of overreacting to what they've just seen. But it seems to me, how people were talking Saturday night, there was maybe some similarities with the Villa away performance.
I can't even say it was worse than that.
Right.
Villa
was worse, or Brentford was worse, you say?
No, our performance at Brentford was worse than we played at Villa.
Really?
100%, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
and
Simon Oxley said, didn't he? Simon Oxley said, Brentford are as there for the taking as they can be. You know, because Dave said it right at the start, patched up. They had 4 or 5 players out.
And playing in the wrong position.
Yes,
Playing in the wrong position.
Adjil, whatever his name is, playing it right back. And, you know.
If you're going to play a team, I don't like the phrase, team like Brentford, at that point, that's the best time, because they were suffering so many injuries. And let's say, actually, we've got our own injuries to worry about.
Of course.
But if you're going to go to Brentford Stadium, that was the time to do it. And we just wasn't in the game at all, ever. First half was just we talk about the Villa game. In Villa, you've got to say Aston Villa, class team, they're 4th in the division. Mm-hmm. They play some really good football.
Yeah, I guess
and they were on us from minute one.
Mm. When you put it into perspective like that, I guess,
Brentford,
maybe,
patched up team, hoping to get it. It was 0-0 at half time. But you just sit there and go, why aren't we in this game? If you look at the stats at half time, we had no shots, nothing.
No shots?
No shots, nothing on target, nothing. Right. Not one attempt at their goal.
How was the press and tempo?
There wasn't any.
So what is it? It was another one of the sort of standoff, and
it was a bit disappointing, if I'm honest. Look, I go there passionately wanting my team to win. I want our team to win.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But from the first half display, there was never a chance we were going to win that game.
I felt never a chance. From well, obviously I watched it, obviously, you know, on the TV and whatever. But I felt when I was watching it, it's almost like we give them too much respect. We didn't tuck into them at all. Okay. It was just like we stood off and we put maybe 10 men behind the ball. And I wouldn't say they were doing really much with the ball.
No.
But we weren't really going for it. There was no approach like to go and say, do you know what? Let's go and get them. Let's go get at them or try and run at them. Not even like Benet was running at people. Not saying it was his fault. Obviously, Brentford are a good side, let's face it. They're coached very well. But there was just no get up and go and just no drive. Maybe I think maybe it's tactically that's the way they were set up.
Would you have hoped from the first 15 or 20 where it was obviously 0-0 that Luton might have thought, right, we can get something here, and maybe try to impose themselves more on it? I mean,
to be fair, I felt like the first 15, 20 minutes probably our best part of the first half. If that's, well, from my point of view, but I felt just after that, I think we had more of the ball. No, Dave, I think we had more of the ball in the first 15 minutes than we did in the next half hour.
But Tari, I'm telling you now, if you looked up the stats...
No, but I'm on about the 15...
If you looked up the stats, the possession was terrible.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying is, in the first 15 minutes, I felt like we had more than the ball in the first 15 than we did in the last half hour of that half.
Well...
Which is not saying a lot, by the way.
Well, being there, I don't think we had much possession at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. We didn't.
Right. In the first half. We didn't. At all. And the frustrating thing is, we see it ourselves... look, before we get into the game in general... When we've started off like this before, we've had the point when we've actually soaked up the pressure and gone, right, now we're going to push on. So we were hoping, and I was hoping that would happen. In the first half, we didn't get anywhere near their goal. Their goal.
Right.
And we had, Ogbeni gets the ball, he runs down the left-hand side, he's doubled up on, they know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I was going to say he was doubled up, to be fair.
Yeah, all of the time. Right. Every single time. So they knew where our threat was there. Morris is playing to the tactics, isn't he? And he's holding the ball up. He's not getting any opportunities. He's not getting fed. We didn't do anything. It was depressing.
I'm going to throw out a bold statement here, right? You might all disagree with this, but I genuinely feel like they're the best coached team in the league. Not saying not Man City, the way they play up for the players they've got and the money they've spent.
Oh, Brentford.
Because the way they set up, they give some of the best. Well, look at Man City when they played Man City last season. They beat them twice.
They're certainly well drilled. I know what you're saying, Batara.
They've nullified some of the best teams in that league. And it's like, you look at it, you've got to applaud that, because they know how to approach games and how to get something out of it. They know how to win it. I'm not saying they're the best team in the league, I think, but the coaching stand and how they approach things and how they gain points.
He's getting an awful lot out of them on a regular basis.
Yes,
So on that basis,
yes.
I think it's not an outrageous statement.
If we look at, we had 2 changes for the start of the game from Palace. Kabore and Chong in for Doughty and Townsend. I know Doughty's injured. Was you surprised not to see Townsend in the starting lineup?
But I was hearing he maybe took a slight knock the week before.
Okay.
But I mean, to be fair, you got to protect him as well, to a certain extent, I guess. Maybe.
If what you're saying, Ogbene was getting doubled up on all the time, that means that someone is free. Do you not feel that maybe Chong or Barkley, for example, have then got to almost demand the ball more if they're doubling up on someone like that?
We didn't get anywhere near the ball. That's the problem. We didn't get anywhere near the ball. The possession that Brentford had.
So was it crap passing when we did have it?
Well, I think we had 100 and something passes in the first half.
It was
against about 3 to 4. 300.
The way they set up,
it's ridiculous.
The way I kept seeing it on the TV, the way they set their midfield up, honestly, was like this. Was like that. It was weird, honestly.
Right. When you say that, that's like a U shape. Just for the people that are listening and watching.
So it was basically like a U, and it was basically like they covered around all the players, and it was like every time the ball went to one side, there'd be another player over, and it would always shift like this. And then like the defenders. So that was basically the midfield, and then the defenders would then push up around, and box it off. It was very strange.
At the risk of sounding terrible, the teams like hashtag. Brentford should be one that we're going to thinking we've got a chance to win this. If you're going to Manchester City away, we're not winning that unless we're very, very lucky. Because of who they are and what they spent. So you're targeting teams like Brentford, Fulham, Forest, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Burnley. You're targeting those games to get points, and this is one I was confident we'd do a good display in. And if we'd have played like we played against Crystal Palace, we'd have beaten them.
With Doughty being out, are you surprised that maybe Giles wasn't put in from the start, or do you not think that he trusts him at the moment?
Didn't he also come out and say that he's going to use him more as an attacking winger or midfielder? He said doesn't like him at the back.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but Doughty is such an attacking threat as well.
Maybe doesn't fancy him. I'm not too sure. I mean, we paid nearly £6 million for this guy as well, so strange.
Well, I suppose let's try and take some positives from the first half, even though it was pretty poor from my view. At least we kept them out. So the defence was playing well. I again, Mengi, great player.
Brilliant. Honestly, I say the same thing every week, and you look, what this guy, man, he's come out of youth football pretty much. Had a couple of loan spells, like short loan spells, and he's chucked it at deep end in the Premier League. Like, let's face it, a team that's struggling in this league. Yeah, and we are going to struggle. We know that. And the fact that he's putting on fine displays every single week at such a young age, and he's confident as well. It just gives you such a, what's the word? Not a relief, just such a, I can't think of the word. Just such a sense of, wow, we've got a player that can maybe improve and that can improve other people around him as well.
He definitely feels that he belongs at this level, and that's great. He's not worried about sort of not belonging or thinking he's inferior. But no, I think he's had a cracking start to the season.
Brilliant.
Not much to say about the first half, if I'm honest. It could be a very quick podcast tonight.
I think, to be fair, Dave, can I just touch on quite quickly on the
fact
that they didn't really have much to shout about in the first half either.
Exactly that. It was so poor as a game to watch. And like when you're standing in the cold and you want to be excited by something, well, nothing. There was nothing. You couldn't admire Brentford's football because it wasn't great. Ours was terrible compared to them. Tactically, do you think we got it wrong, Steve?
Well, potentially. As I say, it appeared that Brentford were there for the taking. I just I can't comment on it wholeheartedly because I wasn't at the game. But I think if it's 0-0, it's a a non-event of a game, as you've sort of described the first half, I would be hoping sort of 2025 in that we sort of up the ante and try and tuck into them, impose ourselves on the game. Whereas it appears, from what you're saying, it was just stand off and try not to concede for the first half.
Because nothing frustrates you more, does it, than standing off and still losing 3-1. Well, if you went for it and lost 3-1, fine.
Well, that's the point, if you work for it. And there's always a point when you're watching Luton and you think, okay, now we're going to have our turn. And we just didn't get it. And to make it worse, at the end of the first half, Locke is on the floor, injured. And
what happened there, Dave?
Well, I don't really know what happened.
I saw what happened.
Go for it.
So basically, quite early on...
Yes.
That was good. Yeah. Right up there.
Sound effects. Yeah, go for it.
So basically, early on in the game, he got a knee in the back.
Oh, that was it,
the lower back.
Sorry, Batari. Yeah, I was listening to the commentary on Three Counties. That guy done it twice. He put a knee in the back of two people in the first.
Was it Neil Mopay by any chance? Was it?
I don't know who it was, but first, no, I don't think it was. I can't remember his name, but first 20 minutes, the guy done that twice. Because I remember them commenting about it on Three Counties.
I think the one obviously at the time, obviously I can't remember it whole bit whatever, but I don't think it was intentional. It was just like a coming together but yeah, I mean I couldn't even tell it was a knee in the back at first. I thought it was just like a little nudge or something that maybe his back went but yeah.
Well, I think his back did go. He was down for quite a while before they took him off at half time. I mean, everybody was off the pitch, and so Locke is not coming out for the second half, which I think on the day is a big loss for us.
He's a leader, isn't he?
And the second half starts, and we've got Brown's come on, Kabore and Brown have swapped places, and Bell's gone left centre back. And 4 minutes after the restart, Brentford take the lead. Now, on the day from where I was standing, I was furious that I thought Chong had been fouled before the cross came in, before they managed to get a goal. But I've looked it back. I don't think it's a foul.
It's a foul. It's a foul, Dave.
I don't think it's a foul.
It's a foul.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's a foul for me. I mean, I don't. We'll discuss, didn't we, before the podcast? I think the fact that I've even got a screenshot on my phone. I showed you earlier.
Send it to Jacob. We can put it.
All right, fair enough. It's a bit blurry though, but yeah, you can still see the hand. His hand's around his whole arm.
I have seen 25, 30 odd tackles or free kicks given against Luton this season where I'm thinking, well, that can only be a Premier League foul because in a Championship, it would not have happened. Almost like if you just run across the path of someone and go down, you're going to get a free kick. And I've seen so many examples of that. Just absolute sack of crap, not a foul, but given.
Yeah.
But I think he did dive for the second one, which the ref didn't give. That's fine.
Yes, that's second phase, yeah.
But I have seen the footage that you were talking about, Bataro. He wasn't pulled to the ground,
no,
but he was pulled back.
But it was enough to stop his motion.
Yeah, and in this sterile world that they want to try and create in the Premier League,
I like that, yeah.
That was a Premier League free kick.
Yeah. No, this is the thing, right, Dave? Like, what I'm going to say, I know you don't agree with it, but the fact that he has, I can't remember who the defender was or the midfielder or whatever, who grabbed Chong, but the fact that Chong's arm, you can see, you clearly see, hands round him.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
For the purpose of the video watchers.
Obviously further up, though, we have to go further up now. Anyway, but no, look, and that's then stopped his next stride, which has probably stopped him getting the ball.
I don't agree.
Therefore, he's obviously dived after a bit late.
I don't agree. I literally don't agree. I think he felt a little touch and he thought, I'll go and I'll get a referee to give that. And he didn't. But that's not the worst bit of it, is it? Because after that happens, it's pinged across.
Oh, it's not dealt
and
with,
it pings off Osho and it pings off Bell and it just falls. It just, like when you don't get the luck of a draw.
It's just calamitous, really, isn't it?
Totally. And it just falls to their player. There's no way he can stop that.
No, nothing he can do about it. As you say, it's just one of those rubbish, you never want to look at it again goals where it just bounces off someone. Oh, there you go, put it away. And you think, that's it. Now we've got an uphill challenge.
I was saying at the time, obviously, I was very frustrated because I'm not blaming anyone, but I thought Bell could have maybe done better as well. But looking back on it now, maybe it was a bit harsh, not me saying that. But
Well,
I'm still not.
It pings off
show,
sure. Doesn't it? It pings off show, hits Bell, and then it just drops to their player. And it's the golden scenario that you want for your own team to happen. You know, you've got a goal gaping there.
Yeah, exactly. It's an absolute gimme. I think Bataro said before we started recording this that he thought Bell was static, but you know, we've had a look. He wasn't. He was sort of in the right position, but
it's too close, isn't it?
2 yards in front of him, the ball's taken a ridiculous sort of ricochet. Nothing you can do.
But it's that early chance again that's put us down, and it's happened more than once.
And it's just poor. It's just a poor goal to concede as well, really.
So has it got to be stopped a lot earlier on?
I think for me, yes, it has to be stopped a lot earlier on.
There's 3 times in there you can stop the ball. Do you know what I mean? You can get rid of the ball and whatever else. Like, I think it starts from the time we give the ball away, or from maybe 30 seconds prior to that. But whatever, onto the next phase, and then the whole Chong part, and it's like, oh, here we go.
So on that basis, in that game, in that moment, were we missing Nakamba? Because
I think missing Nakamba, we're missing Lockyer, we're missing people that can stop them.
And this is what's contributing to.
Yeah, listen, we should be fair enough to say we had a lot of injuries. But genuinely, I think this is our worst performance of the season, beyond doubt, for me personally. Right. Well, that's how I felt about it.
That's quite a statement. So, based on the fact we've got such a depleted squad at the moment, and you know the people that are missing, would it be nice to have had Campbell available in the squad? That's
a good shout.
I don't know. I literally don't know.
But Dave, we have got so many players out injured at the moment. We are basically putting what's to say in square pegs in round holes.
If the opposition has got sort of time on the ball to get the ball into the box and that, you know, I think he would certainly be hassling runners. The hell out of people.
We need runners. We haven't got enough runners at the moment. No Nakamba, no Lukonga.
Well, look, they're all on the verge of coming back. Let's hope that happens soon. I want to talk about the second goal briefly. It pains me to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. This one was the sucker punch, really. Cross from it was a corner, wasn't it? Header. And it just hits Morris. Yeah. You know, how unlucky can you be for there? And at 2-0, you're gone, well, that's it, done. Yeah. But at that point, I felt that we stepped up a little bit. Maybe we had, I don't know what happened, but the tempo picked up. Would you not say that, Bataro?
What minute, sorry, what minute were you saying?
After the second goal.
Well, the 56th minute they scored. And then...
yeah.
So he makes a change. So they make the change. He brings on Elijah Townsend and Jordan Clark, who I'm loving to see back in the team, by the way. Yeah. Made a little bit of a difference, and it was immediate.
But no, like you're saying, obviously, about that, we had more of the ball after that. I felt from my point of view, it was more the last sort of 15 minutes of the second half that we were on the front foot, and we actually looked like we could have scored another couple of goals. So, and obviously we get into it. Obviously, we did score a goal.
Well, let's talk about our goal, because for me, the move was brilliant. It was the best goal of the game, even though we lost. The best goal of the game, and again, started by Barkley in the midfield.
Yeah.
Fantastic pass to Brown. Brown does really well and slots it past the keeper. And at that point, I'm thinking, this is it. Let's go for it. It's 2-1. We've seen it before. We saw it at Forest. We've seen it in the past. This is our chance to move on and get back in the game. Yeah,
because the pass from Barkley was very good. I think he would have wanted a bit more pace on it, but as I say, Brown was really quite aggressive and he just beats the guy to it. Yeah. But then what I really like is he's gone inside and he's had the composure and he stroked it away with his wrong foot.
That was a lovely shot.
Yeah, you know,
beautiful goal.
Yeah, really, really lovely. And he's going to get so much from that. You know, I know he did the goal against Palace and he's now going to take that on as well. So we're going to hopefully see more and more out of him because, again, we've got belief and stuff. But, I was really pleased with the way he sort of nicked the ball off the guy because I think Barkley would have wanted a bit more pace on that pass. A good pass, though it was. You know, at least he was looking for it. Yeah, it was a lovely goal. And at that point, you've got to think, here we go.
Isn't it frustrating that we didn't play that way from the start of the game?
Well, yeah, we can always sit here and say, of course. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think it's possible to always play well for the whole game. You've got to take the opposition to focus as well. But what I say about...
sorry to interrupt you, but we need to take the game to the opposition at some point. Why did we leave it so long?
This is the thing. I'll be honest, right? I know it sounds really bad. Obviously, I was very upset at the time. And obviously not in a good mood, obviously watching Luton lose, whatever. I was sitting there at the time saying, I was shouting around the house going, why does it take us till the last 15, 20 minutes to start actually playing football? That's what really upset me the other day.
Yeah, but also what you said a moment ago, Batara, you said about about the quality of the opposition, taking the opposition, all of them in this division are of a level.
Yes,
apart from at this exact moment, Sheffield United.
But the thing, what I mean by that is, I don't mind if it's 0-0 or you're 1-0 or whatever. It's a tight game. I felt like we were so out of the game, and we were still very passive for the majority, even when we were 2 down or whatever.
We were very, very passive.
I think that's when we, as supporters, find it really frustrating when we think that there's more for them to give, maybe not energy-wise, but determination and intensity to try and go and win the game rather than holding in the game.
Well, at 2-1, we're thinking we've got a chance to get back in it, but that all those hopes were dashed by yet another disastrous goal. I mean, no disrespect to Brentford, but all their goals were stoppable. All their goals were shockingly poor defensive-wise. I mean, one was unlucky. The first one we've already discussed. This one pinged off 3 players, and then it just fell right for the guy.
How the hell has he walked through? He's walked through basically. I think the line. I mean, when he finishes it, he shoots at Kaminsky originally. How the hell has he got into the area in that much space and got faded to the left?
Because that's how the fate was going. So let's not dwell on it. And I think it was just one hoof ball away, and it's away, isn't it? But it knocks off a few people. I mean, Chong's header was class. Slightly offside. Sort of give me. I just want to touch on one thing. There's been a lot of people saying post game, Elijah deserves a start because he's played much better than Morris in that game. He's come on for the last 20 minutes. But I feel quite sorry for Morris in that situation because he is isolated because he's isolated because of tactics and the tactics that we set up in the beginning of the game, and we normally put Elijah on when we're chasing the game at the moment, and so he comes on, he's got a different role to play, so maybe that makes Elijah look better than Morris.
Exactly, and you've got slightly more tired defenders. Morris is up against all fresh defenders from the start of the game. I would love it that Morris could find sort of more opportunities coming his way, because
he will.
But he just seems to be a workhorse at the moment, where there doesn't seem an awful lot of hope of him getting chances.
And it's not even like we're looking at Morris going, he's been playing poor, because he hasn't been playing poor. I mean, last week he wasn't great, but we all know why. He took a knock and whatever else. But look, the guy, I think. Yeah,
but he's not missing any shots. He's not getting any chances.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. The service, and like I say, people. Obviously, I know football fans are all the same. We always have to. There's always something that could go better or go different. But I'm under no illusion. Like all I would say is to people is you need to just chill out. We're not tacticians. The management are that good. They got us promoted. Let's leave them to it.
Hey, listen.
We have an opinion. I know that, but
I'm not criticising our management team. I'm just frustrated.
I know.
I am so frustrated with. We had one shot on target at the weekend, and we scored from
only
that.
one. Was that it?
One on target, and we scored from that. I'm so frustrated because I know we can do better, and we've said this before. And the game in itself was an utter disappointment, and it's a game of football to watch. If you're watching that, I didn't watch much of the day, but I'm sure with the last game on, and I would have said that when you watch the game, if you can come away from a game and go, we give that a good go, but we didn't. And I know the team's knackered. I know they've done a lot.
Of course. And we are down to bare bones at the moment. We need to remember that as well. Yeah. That is also, because but do you want to know really what upset me the most on Saturday? Which really, really got me? And it's not really nothing to do with football. It's the fact that my son cheered when Brentford scored. I'm not happy. I'm not having that, mate.
Look,
I'm not having that.
That's shocking,
mate. I swear to God.
We need to do better. Listen, let's put that one behind us. Brentford 3, Luton Town 1, and we haven't kept a clean sheet in 17 games, so there's got to be one coming.
Yeah,
and let's just move on. Can it happen against Arsenal at Kenilworth Road? Can it happen? Can we dream that?
Of course it can.
We've got to have full strength side and be absolutely wonderful on the night.
I just think get Jose Mourinho in for one game, part of the bus, win 1-0. Beautiful. That's how I do it.
Well, let's be serious about this, right? Because we've got to play Arsenal, then Manchester City. These two games, if we get anything from them, is going to be a bonus.
Absolutely.
An absolute bonus. What do we need to do to stop Arsenal?
Probably break 3 or 4 players' legs. No, I'm not joking, because at the moment I'm really fearing these next 2 games. The fact that we probably have no Mengi, no Lockyer now, the rest of the squad that are out, no Nakamba, no Lokonga.
I think there might be a couple of surprises and people coming back for tomorrow night.
Well, I've heard on the radio earlier that they're not fit.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, not about Mengi and Lockyer. I don't know about them two, but I'm on about Lokonga and Nakamba. Apparently they're still not fit to play.
Yeah, well, maybe Doughty's coming back. And
Doughty, he should be fit, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I would imagine, do you remember when Allardyce was at Bolton and he just had the number over Arsenal every time he got in their faces and stuff like that? I think that's our best hope, getting in their faces and, really pressing like we did Liverpool, working our absolute socks off.
I was about to say that. No one expected to get a point against Liverpool.
Yeah, true.
And we were close to getting 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we attack it the same way, surely, Batara, we have an option of we could absolutely pull off a shock.
The only thing I would suggest is that they're completely 2 different sides. Completely different sides.
They still won't like the intensity though that we could.
Oh, of course,
subject them
to. But the thing, we cannot give them any respect. We cannot give them any space, like we said. And as soon as you give them space and they can play, knock the ball around, then we're done for. We might as well say,
do we treat this game like an FA Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, how else?
You got your main man up front, and you got Saka up front. He's an amazing player.
Mm-hmm.
Not just him, he's like Jesus, Martinelli. Come on, they're all there. Odegaard behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets better, doesn't it?
It's quite. I think the way to look at this game surely is sit back, enjoy the quality of the players that you're watching, and hope that we can take it to them. Because, and no disrespect to our team at all, these guys are world-class players.
Yeah, and financially we're worlds apart. Absolutely worlds apart. But, we work so hard to get to this level. I'm sure the players want to take this opportunity and have a go at them and not just sit and try and hold them. The players would want to sort of pit their wits and see what they can do in an attacking sense as well.
Obviously, we're undefeated champions at Wembley against Arsenal. I have to put that one in just in case any Arsenal supporters are listening. I don't see how we're going to do it. I just genuinely can't see how we're going to break them down. They always seem to sort of pull a result out of the hat, even when they're under the cosh.
Well, we can score a goal out of anything. When we had Chelsea in the FA Cup last season, we were 2-1 up. We can score goals. Okay, that can happen. It's going to be more difficult keeping them out because they do pass the ball quickly. Their movement is exceptional, and they do find these pockets of space. Hopefully, with our crappy small pitch, they won't be able to find as much space. But no, I mean we've got to be as near to full strength as possible. We've got to be at our absolute best. Yeah. And of course, there's a chance in a one-off game, Dave.
Hopefully, the boys are there, like the people that do the pitch, the lines, all that sort of. Hopefully, they're there, like put it in like a bit smaller as well. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So, please, lads, come on, do us a favour.
Let's not take away the talent from our own team. If we approach the start of the game in the way that we maybe played Tottenham, I see Arsenal taking their chances more than Tottenham did.
I think that's a fair comment.
Better players as well. So, yeah.
But if we approach it the way that we played Liverpool and maybe Palace, maybe some of the others, where we get on the front foot early, let's not let them have too much time on the ball.
Of course. But what I will say, I know I've been sitting here cracking, just taking the mick a little bit, but obviously I know we've got good players, but the only thing that I do worry about on a serious note is the fact that we've got a lot of players out missing, and it's going to probably be players in different positions that don't usually play there. That's the thing that worries me. I'm not saying these players aren't good enough to compete or, put up a shift, because we know they are. But it's when you're so disjointed and there's like different faces coming in every week or playing with one fit centre-back potentially, one natural centre-half, that could be a massive issue for us. Massive.
The size of our squad, our squad this year has been probably the biggest and best squad that we've had for a long, long time, obviously, because of what we spent. Yet their injuries are still happening.
Yeah.
and we go through this every season with Luton. We seem to get to a point where everybody starts to get injured. Are we pushing ourselves too much in training? Is that a stupid question to ask?
I don't know. You ask this question every year, Dave. I
still can't give you an
answer to it. I don't know.
Well, then
I really don't know. I don't know what their training regimes are. I don't know. I just.
These are massively qualified people, and the guys in the science department. They know what they're doing. I think it's because as a club we train how we want to play, so that there is a level of intensity every day, but they are working so hard, particularly on match days, that I think inevitably, they are going to sort of break down from time to time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
We can't make 3 or 4 changes and keep the same level of quality in the side.
And that's testament to the players as well.
Yeah, so I think some players are probably running lower on fumes because we can't make 4 changes like Man City. Man City can make 11 changes and still have a world-class side. We make 4 changes, we're in a bit of trouble. And that is the difference, that is the reality, but that's what we wanted. These are the games that we wanted. So just go out there and give it your absolute best. If we lose 3 or 4-0 at home, no one's going to bat an eyelid.
No, enjoy the game. Enjoy the class of the players that you're watching. And the same when we play Manchester City, because you're going to look at Haaland, who is probably the best striker in world football at this moment in time. And, when he comes to town, if we lose, you've got to admire how he plays. And the same with Arsenal. If you think about it, though, there's a couple of things that producer Jacob said to us. No side has kept more clean sheets or conceded fewer goals on the road in the Premier League this season than Arsenal. That doesn't hold that much hope for us, I'm afraid to say. However, we have scored in all but one of our league games at Kenilworth Road this campaign.
Yeah.
We know what we're up against, and we know we can score a goal. But getting 3 points I think it's out the window for us on a personal level.
Yeah, because I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, and we're not scoring more than 1 goal often enough.
No.
I think that's where we're going to.
Sometimes
we accepted the other week when we saw these fixtures, we accepted the fact that we went, do you know what? If we don't get any points out of them games, so be it.
Sometimes though, these games throw up a different scenario, doesn't it? There are teams sometimes that just shock you, and maybe this could be our time. If it's not going to be this week on Tuesday, then let's hope it's Sunday.
Yeah.
If you had to put your money on it, what's the score going to be?
Tomorrow night, 3-0.
What, to us?
Silly boy.
I thought you'd been the silly boy there, Steve. I'll be honest, I'm staying optimistic. I'm going for a 0-0 draw.
I'll take a 90th.
First clean sheet.
90th minute winner from us.
1-0.
That'll do me fine.
Yeah.
FA Cup. Luton got Bolton Wanderers at home. I think it's a good tie. It gives the chance to play Watford and knock them out the next round. If you haven't got your tickets for Bournemouth, sadly only 1,300 because they got the smallest ground in the league.
He went to find one in it.
I love it. So proud. Rob Edwards and Kaminsky nominated for monthly awards, Manager of the Month and Save of the Month for November. If you haven't voted, you can go online and vote for that. If you haven't done it already, please do that. And really, our next 5 fixtures leading up to Christmas are, the next 2, Arsenal and Manchester City. Whatever we get out of those, we get out of those. If we get nothing, we can expect it. Bournemouth away, though, and Sheffield United away on Boxing Day. Those 2 games, surely, and I don't like saying this every bloody week, but surely they are must-win games.
Bournemouth, Sheffield United. You think, I don't know about must-wins, but...
Or do we want to stay in this league? Because if we can't beat Bournemouth and we can't beat Sheffield United, and especially Sheffield United,
and they'll feel
Bournemouth not a bad side. Bournemouth are not that bad a side. We think.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that at all because Bournemouth, should have beaten Aston Villa at the weekend. But
did they not beat them?
No.
Did they not?
Was it a draw?
Was it a draw?
Was it
2-2?
Yeah, I think Villa got a late one.
Oh, wow. I thought it won. Oh,
No,
wow.
Ollie Watkins scored in the 90th
brilliant.
minute.
That's made me a bit happier.
Yeah, no, these are games that you identify, like they would identify the game.
Everyone identifies Luton Town and they're going to beat
exactly.
Like
so no, they're very, very important games. Out of those 5 fixtures,
how many points, Steve?
I'm going for 4 points.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Bataro?
Always optimistic. I'm going for 8.
8?
Yeah, there we go. 3
Okay.
against Bournemouth, 3 against Sheffield United, 1 against Newcastle, 1 against Arsenal tomorrow night. There you go.
Well, brilliant. I'll take 6. I'll take 6 or 7 if we can get them.
To be fair, I'd take 4. I'm not going to lie. I would take 4 or 5 out of that.
Yeah.
It's a tough time leading up to Christmas. You know, it's thick and fast up at this point. We all know what it's like. I'd love a little FA Cup run. That'd be fun. I'm not going to be here over Christmas, sadly. We'll have a different presenter, but I'm sure you'll give Darren your back in when he comes along. Enjoy the games. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we look forward to your comments about the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, leave the comments below. If Spotify, give us a like if you can. And we'll see you soon. Don't forget, Christmas episodes coming out Christmas Eve.
Yes.
We'll see you then.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.